significant development that's aimed at restoring peace in the violence-hit state. Governor Ajay Kumar Bhalla announced on Friday that the deadline to voluntarily surrender looted and illegal weapons have been extended to 4 p.m. on March 6, 2025, and thus the deadline comes to an end as of today. Now, this extension follows requests from various communities in both the valley and hill areas who sought more time to facilitate the surrender process. Initial deadline set on February 20th gave individuals 7 days to hand over their weapons without fear of prosecution. However, with the deadline approaching, it became clear that more time was in fact needed to ensure a comprehensive and peaceful surrender. Initiative is in fact a part of a broader effort to end the ongoing ethnic violence between the Meitei and the Kuki-Zo communities, which has led to widespread unrest and loss of life. Now, as you can see on your screens, the arms and ammunitions that have been recovered so far as we speak on 6th of March. On Thursday itself, the 7th day of the original deadline, the armed Meitei group Arambai Tengol surrendered 246 firearms at the first Manipur Rifles campus in Imphal. Now, this marked a significant step in the peace process, bringing the total number of surrendered weapons that in fact were recovered after the extension to 300, primarily from the valley districts. Now, Union Home Minister Amit Shah emphasized the importance of recovering all the looted weapons to prevent further violence in the state. Security forces, including the Indian Army and the Assam Rifles, have been actively conducting operations to recover these arms, and recent efforts have in fact led to the seizure of rifles, mortars, and even improvised explosive devices, along with cartridges, magazines and wireless sets, as well as dismantling of illegal bunkers. Now, the extended deadline provides a final opportunity for individuals to contribute peace and communal harmony by surrendering their weapons voluntarily. During this period, no punitive action, as we mentioned earlier, will be taken against those who comply, and the Manipur government and security forces remain committed to restoring stability and ensuring the safety of all communities in the very state. With that, we are being joined by our colleague Brijesh Pante, News9's input editor. Brijesh, it's a very important extension that we had seen, because only after the extension we had seen as many as 300 weapons in fact being recovered, and this very step to not take action against those who are coming in to surrender these weapons and the very extension of this deadline. How important has this been over the last 7 days?
Well, it's an important initiative because, the government of the day also understands that they cannot penalize and, take people who are willing to surrender the arms, because the situation there is completely different. And the numbers are also quite encouraging. But if you look at the overall pictures, the bows of the weapons which have been surrendered by people, it's a single barrel and double barrel, mostly guns. And when you look at the guns with a serious muzzle power and all, those have not been surrendered yet. And that keeps on, that is one of the key problems which the government of the day, or rather right now we can say the governor of the day faces, until and unless guns like AK-47 and other highly sophisticated guns are surrendered by the people who have been looted from the state armory, and also the one which is being smuggled across the border. The security cards, the security forces will have a very serious challenge at hand. The fact of the matter is that surrendering of weapon has been a top priority as far as the previous government was concerned, and is one of the key priorities, because until and unless these guns, which have high caliber and bigger power, remains at large and at hands of these civil societies and other groups, the chance of having a smooth transition is not going to take place, and that poses the biggest challenge for the government. So I would say that yes, they have a number of weapons have been surrendered, but if you look at the quality, if you look at the fact that are these AK-47s, are these high caliber weapons which have been surrenders, which would have posed a big problem to the security force, then I think a lot more needs to be desired. The government would have to impress home the point that even those weapons need to be surrendered to make sure that a smooth transition takes place, and the government should be in a position to say that now they are in a much better position. Until and unless those weapons are seized, I think peace will continue to elude the state of Manipur.
Absolutely, Brijesh. Those are some of the challenges that still, in fact, the government seems to be grappling with in Manipur. But, given the current circumstances, would you say there is a possibility of yet another extension in deadline in surrendering these arms? And within this extension, do you think now the government might actually come out to take some more steps? Because earlier, as we said, there are no action that was being taken against people in terms of those who were in, possession of these arms. But now, do you think such actions might actually be executed on grounds?
Well, I think the government most likely should announce an extension of inviting people to surrender weapon, because if you start taking action against people who are surrendering weapon, then the entire scheme will backfire, and nobody will come forward to surrender the looted weapon. There are approximately 4 to 5,000 such weapons going around, and if you look at the entire Valley Hill area, it'll prove to be a very daunting task for the security forces, because imagine a militia being armed with AKs and other deadly weapons, and they are trying to take on the security forces. It will increase the problem of the security forces. It can further jeopardize a very tenuous balance, many believe, which has been in effect ever since President rule has been imposed and Mr. Bhalla has been appointed as the governor of the state. So I think the government would rather persuade these people to surrender all the looted arms to the nearest police station or boxes which have been made, to make sure that they are able to get as many weapons as possible without resorting to any kind of violence or without resorting to any kind of arrest per se, because this is one situation which I think the government would like to announce, and it will be very interesting to see how the government moves on from here. Will they crack the whip? Will they make sure that anybody caught in the position will be tried under various existing acts, or will the government further extend this outreach, saying that you can keep on surrendering weapon and no action will be taken against you?